One of the best all-around 10.3-inch note-taking devices to date is this, the Xiaomi Moaan W7. You can read books, take notes, look at PDFs, install your own apps, and it's in English, and it gets better. Look at this pen. It doesn't have any buttons and it may not be the most compatible pen in terms of functionality, but man does this pen look nice. And it's also completely unique. We've never seen a stylus on a note-taking device quite like this one before. It's a two-tone white, silver flake on the back, alpine white up the top. It has both a black kind of centerpiece in the middle, like a core running through the entire pen, and it has a black nib. You get some replacements as well. This is also the only pen that actually gives you grips, and once they're on, it actually gives you a very good writing feel, and it is triangular, meaning there's 3 sides on it like so. So when you write, you get a high level of accuracy and the pen doesn't slip out of your hand. There's no eraser or anything like that, but it does come with a bunch of nibs and a nib removal tool. This is the home screen you see right here, so we'll just go through pretty much everything we can here. This is home, back, you have a settings wheel here, and you do have some nice options. You have network settings, you have Bluetooth device settings, app settings, etc. We do have some cool stuff here. You can change the language anytime you want, you can change your screensaver, and you actually have account management, which means that you can add an account, and what this does is allow you to add your own email account. So you can email your notes, email the things you've written, you've edited, things you've screenshotted directly to your email account. Something completely unique to this device is global contrast. Now, we have seen some global contrast before, but not as easily accessible as this. You click the top, you can change it as heavy or as light as you want. You also have bold, so it actually bolds all the text on the screen throughout the entire UI. Not quite as cool as the Super Note when you swipe the side of the device to trigger refresh. The refresh is locked to the UI bar at the top, so that's really nice. You can tap the top right corner and this brings down some stuff from the drop down. You have one button clear, this clears off all the RAM and kind of releases all the memory, and you have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth toggle, and a screenshot and stuff that you have downloaded. So under the Notes tab, you have this says Jobs, Meetings, and Notes, and then Cloud. Now, it's very strange that even though you change it into English and literally everything on the device is English, these 3 remain Chinese, but it's really just categories in which you can save stuff to. You can also add your own categories right there. Let's just click on a note and dive right in. So once you're here, you have some stuff at the top bar. You have pencil, but it's really just the pencil only. There's no other drop down. You see there's no little arrow next to it. You do have the ability to change 5 different line thicknesses, and you can actually toggle the pressure sensitivity on or off. So you can make those hairlines, or you can press really hard and you get those nice thick bleeds. You can turn the pressure off, in which case it doesn't matter how light you hold the pen or how heavy you press, it's going to remain the exact same. You also have an eraser. Because the pen itself does not have eraser functionality, you will have to click on eraser to choose the eraser size or a full screen clear. You also have the ability to change your templates and toggle them anytime you want. So you can choose vertical lines, you can choose drafting grids, you can basically just change this anytime you want, and it doesn't affect what you've written. So you can write on the screen, change your template, and it'll just keep everything as is. You do have a refresh wheel right there. You can click at any time, and this one's really interesting. It has text conversion, so all you have to do is tap that once you've written something on the screen. This is a little disclaimer because it says that this is in the early stages, so you will have to give it some time to maybe convert a little bit better on a future update, but I think it does very well, and we've pre-written this obviously, and you will see that it changes it to text right away. Now it does do it and it is very accurate, but the downside is there's not really anything you can do at this point. You can add more things. You can write all day long, English or Chinese. You have a toggle right there, and you can long press what you've written and you can share it. But for some reason, it doesn't allow you to share with WhatsApp and email and all that. All you can really do is if you click share, is share it via Bluetooth. And it would have to connect to an actual Bluetooth enabled device. So I really wish they would add a share that would allow the share to find all the applications in your device, WhatsApp, Line, WeChat, Facebook, what have you, and then you can just box everything and email it to yourself. But at this point, as it said in the disclaimer, it is in its beginning stages. The feeling of the stylus on the screen itself isn't that bad, but at the same point it's not that good. It's actually a little bit more glossy. You feel a little bit of resistance through the pen. The pen is very lightweight, so you don't get that weighted feel like you do on a lot of other devices. And to be completely honest, the note-taking experience is kind of right between Onyx and Sony. It's kind of simplistic, but you can't do that much. There isn't any way to zoom, and there's no way to actually crop anything or kind of circle anything or add shapes or use different colors. There's very limiting in that regard, but it does take notes very well and the pen has a decent feel. Manga and graphic novels look great on this device. It's an HD screen, it's a really big screen as well. It's very crisp, it's very clear. You do have the ability to pinch and zoom like on the PDF, but it is that slow pinch and zoom you're going to be dealing with because it doesn't have an A2 mode or a speed mode or anything like that. But with manga, typically manga is a 6-inch form, which is about yay big. This is 10.3, so there's not going to be any real reason to zoom in, although you had to, you can. The Amazon application works perfectly fine on this device. You can read all your books, you can do all your long presses, your notes, your highlights, Wikipedia, dictionary, everything works, your different colors, shades of gray of course, report content error, everything that the application will do will work on this device. Downside is that if your application has page turn animations like that, you will have to deal with that because it is usually meant for an LCD LED screen. You can change your fonts, you can share, and sharing works with any integrated app on here. So if you have WhatsApp, if you have WeChat, or whatever the case may be, you can share your passages and utilize all the applications you have on this device with those functions. Opening up a PDF, it's going to matter what applications you have installed. For example, the stock application on this unit is a Chinese application. So as you go to take notes, you can see right here there's some Chinese prompts that come up. Note taking is quite fast, and you can tap here and you get 3 default sizes, although you don't have to worry about those because the pressure sensitivity does work. Eraser works very quickly as well. Everything's very speedy, snappy on this device, and then you can exit out of there if you want just the regular PDF experience. Just basically tells you that it has exited, and then you can just start turning pages and whatnot with your fingertips. Now you do have pinch and zoom, although there's no system-wide A2 mode, so you are going to get a little bit of a slower refresh, but the quality of the screen is going to remain pretty high throughout the entire device. Under applications, you can see that the stock applications are the ones with the fine line, and the more fuzzy icons, the ones that basically stand out, are the side-loaded ones. So we've put on the Goody Reader App Store and the Amazon Kindle application. The App Store selection is pretty paltry. The App Store that is preloaded literally has 8 applications, most of which are all in Chinese that you can't even really read except for co-reader. The other ones we don't know what they are. This one's already pre-installed, so you can update that, etc. So needless to say, the selection of applications is not very big. However, of course we have you covered. You can actually open the Goody Reader App Store that you can download from our App Store online at apps.goodyreader.com. Alternatively, you can go to apps.goodyreader.com directly on the browser and browse from 50,000 apps that work immediately. One-click download, you don't need to sign up or anything. And this is important because you can download things like Adobe Acrobat, you can download things like Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, WhatsApp, anything you want on the Goody Reader App Store, and you completely are able to install from unknown sources, so there's no restrictions. You also have a preloaded nifty little calendar app, which is kind of cool, and it's one of the 4 things up top. You simply click a date, On the left, you can make a note, or on the right, you can actually start writing with the pen, and it's isolated just to this range, to the 4 corners. And that's really cool. It's all very quick. You can clear all or switch to eraser. It's a great way of keeping schedules. To be completely honest, it is very weird to see a device that has this much innovation, this much personal R&D, that everything from the online experience to the pen to the fact that this is a completely open Android experience. It's a very good all-around device. It's running USB-C, it has Bluetooth on it, the pen is one of the nicest looking pens we've ever used, the device is completely in English, and there's no restrictions. You can download from unknown sources. The list of pros keeps going on. Now, there is no glow light. That is a little bit of a downside, but if you can get past that, this is a fantastic all-around note-taking device. If you want to see more on this, stay tuned to youtube.com/goodyreader, and for a full review of the Xiaomi Moaan W7, this is Peter.